A narcissist does not just form a bond with you with mind games and mood swings. They do it with their words. Their words are like spells, coated in emotional familiarity, dressed as love, and served with the perfect timing when you are most vulnerable. This is why it is not just a psychological addiction, it is spiritual. It wraps itself around your soul in a way that feels like destiny, but is actually destruction. It is the repeated exposure to emotional highs and lows, but more than that, it is the language that sinks into your nervous system, traps your inner child, and convinces you that this is what connection is supposed to feel like. The trauma bond isn't only built through manipulation, it is built through carefully crafted lies that hook you into staying just a little longer, forgiving just one more time, and hoping that this time the fairy tale they sold you may come true. Hi, I am Samir, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Welcome to my channel. Today's topic is 7 brutal lies narcissists tell to keep the trauma bond alive. This isn't just about the lies themselves, you see. It's about what those lies do to your mind, body, faith, and your spirit. So, let's break them down one at a time and expose the real intentions of these monsters. Lie number 1. I have never felt this way about anyone. At first, this sounds magical, doesn't it? Rare and intimate, like you have cracked open their cold heart and discovered warmth. But that warmth is manufactured. It is not a reflection of you. It is a script they use on everyone who fits the profile of supply. They say it early, often before trust has been earned or depth has been explored, because they know that once you believe your connection with them is rare, you will fight to preserve it at any cost. You will stay through disrespect, make excuses, confuse pain with passion, and most of all, you will tell yourself that if it is this real, it must be real. But what they mean is not that you are special. What they mean is that you are useful, but for now, they haven't fallen for you like you have. They have targeted you, and they need you to believe that what you have is unique, so you never dare walk away. Lie number 2. I love you, I'm just bad at displaying it, showing it. This is where you start blaming yourself for not feeling loved. It is where you start twisting yourself into knots, trying to make things easier for them. You excuse the coldness, the neglect. You tell yourself, oh, love looks different for everyone. But the truth is, someone who loves you does not confuse you. They do not punish you with silence. They do not withhold affection as a weapon to make you chase them harder. You see, narcissists are not bad at love. They are selective with it. They know exactly how to give it when they want control, and exactly how to withhold it when they want you to beg. It keeps you proving your worth, keeps you anxious, and that anxiety becomes the glue that bonds you to someone who's only ever loved your obedience and not your heart. Number 3, I never meant to hurt you. This one is not remorse. It is image protection. It is gaslighting. Because to admit they meant to hurt you would expose the fact that they derive power from your pain. So instead, what do? They act confused, surprised, and innocent. They will insist it was all a misunderstanding. They will shift the narrative so the conversation becomes about how you took things too personally, or how they were just under stress, or how their intentions were good. But if you look closely, you will realize the pattern never changes. They always accidentally forget the one day that matters most, and they always accidentally find new ways to silence, belittle, or provoke you when you try to hold them accountable. This is not a string of unfortunate mistakes. This is calculated harm, which is masked as clumsiness, and it keeps the trauma bond alive by confusing your instincts. You feel hurt, but they claim innocence. So what do? You stay, hoping the next time will be different. but it never is. Lie number 4. You're too sensitive. I was just being honest. What's wrong with you? This is psychological warfare. They disguise their cruelty as honesty and then weaponize your reaction to claim emotional superiority. You end up questioning your emotional responses instead of their behavior. You tell yourself, oh, you are overreacting, that maybe you are just too emotional, too sensitive, too difficult to handle, that maybe they're right. And slowly, without realizing it, you abandon your own emotional truth in order to be more tolerable to someone who enjoys watching you unravel. This lie is beyond dangerous because it teaches you to distrust your own intuition, to give your sensitivity as a flaw instead of a signal. And the more you suppress your reactions, the more control they gain. It's not honesty at all when someone uses the truth to humiliate you. It's not clarity when someone uses facts to gut your spirit. That is verbal abuse dressed up as transparency. And when you accept it, you become complicit in your own silencing. Lie number 5. You make me a better person. I can't tell you how. At first, this sounds like love. It sounds like hope. It sounds like progress. You want to believe that your presence in their life has redeemed them, that all the effort you have poured in is finally paying off, that they are evolving. But what they really mean is they want you to take responsibility for their healing. They want you to become emotionally enslaved to their potential, so you never leave. That's the agenda. So you keep sacrificing. So you keep absorbing the damage and calling it purpose. They broke themselves. They chose dysfunction. But now they want you to feel like it's your job to redeem them. Because as long as you feel like you're their savior, you will never walk away. Even when they hurt you, even when they betray you, when they show you they have no intention of truly changing. You will keep trying to save them from themselves because somewhere along the way, they convinced you that your love has a divine assignment, which is why they called you their soulmate. But you're not their healer. You are their hostage. Lie number 6. You're the toxic one. Look how angry you have become, how you react. This is when they have pushed you past your limit. This is when you have finally started standing up for yourself, raising your voice, setting boundaries, or expressing the rage that has been suppressed for so long. And instead of taking accountability, they flip the script. They use your reaction to erase their actions. They point to your anger as proof that you are unstable. They act calm while you fall apart, and then use your explosion to paint themselves as the victim. This lie is pure gaslighting. It is designed to break your sense of self, to make you question your reality. But if they can make you believe you are the problem, then they never have to change. And you will spend months or years trying to prove you are not toxic, trying to be nicer, calmer, more forgiving. But no matter how composed you become, they will always provoke you again. Because the goal is not peace. What is the goal? The goal is control. And if your anger threatens that control, they will twist it until you start apologizing for finally defending yourself. That is what it is. Lie number 7. No one will ever love you like I do. This is the final trap. It is the lie they say for when they sense you're slipping away. It sounds romantic on the surface, but it is actually a curse. What they mean is, no one will ever tolerate their abuse the way you have. No one will ever mistake manipulation for passion the way you did. No one will confuse anxiety for love the way you were conditioned to. This lie is about instilling fear, the fear that you are too broken, too damaged, or too difficult to be loved by anyone else. So you settle, you shrink, you accept crumbs and call it a feast because you are convinced it is the best you will ever have. But this is not love. It is bondage. It is a contract signed in trauma, sealed with confusion, and enforced by fear. Real love does not make you doubt your worth. It does not isolate you or torment you or make you beg for the bare minimum. Real love heals you deeply. And the longer you stay with someone who defines abuse as affection, the harder it becomes to remember what love is supposed to feel like. That's what has happened to you. These lies are not random. They are patterns. They're systems. They are the building blocks of a trauma bond that feels impossible to break because it was never just about the behavior. It was about the beliefs they implanted in you. Beliefs that you are hard to love, that you are too sensitive, that you are the problem. And as long as those beliefs live inside you, their power remains intact, even after you leave. The truth is, you can break this bond, not by confronting them, but by confronting the lies one by one, piece by piece, until your nervous system stops mistaking chaos for connection, and until your soul stops craving what once hurt it. With that, let's bring this episode to an end. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I will talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin.